Hi Boss Goddess. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my best manifestation stories ever. I'm so excited to just reveal and spill all of the goodness, all of the synchronicities and this magic that constantly happens in my life, but I know that you have experienced it yourself. So before we get started, I want to give you the opportunity to shout it from the rooftops, to declare the goodness in your life that you've seen happen before your eyes in the comments below, because the power of speaking of manifestations of miracles is that even more start to come along your path because you become a true believer and because you know in the power of manifestation, and declaring it and speaking about it is one of the ways to create even more of it. Comment below, give yourself that gift. In this video, I'm gonna just share these stories because I know that when I first started hearing how the law of attraction, the law of vibration, how spirituality and really being open to miracles of what manifestation really is got me inspired. But even more than that, it really got me to believe and to know what was possible and that I wanted it for myself. Have you ever had someone in your life that so many lucky things happen all the time, so they are manifesting all the time, and it might start with jealousy, but then it turns into this really deep curiosity? And that really is my intention for sharing these stories with you, is so that you can start to see, wow, that was so aligned, so magical, yet also so possible for you in your life right now. So I'm not going to go too deep into the how, because I have a ton of videos breaking down manifestation, the law of vibration, and a lot of the how, what can you do and be in order to align that. And I'll include a playlist here so that you can check those out. But in this video, I want to share stories of inspiration, personal stories that have happened to me, so that you can really believe in what is possible and just see how simple and effortless and beautiful all of this can happen. So I'm gonna break down 3 of my top manifesting stories. First one, I'm gonna focus on money, because money is one of those things that for me, I've always had this relationship with, that when it came along my way, especially in a way that I didn't force, it was a really beautiful experience and it felt like manifestation. So money, the next one I'm going to share is travel, because travel is another thing that I've constantly manifested, and every single time I manifested, I'm like, ooh, yes, let's do this again. And then lastly, I'm gonna talk about people that I've manifested in my life, and there's nothing more valuable in life than relationships. So I know that that's a really huge one for me. Let's get started here. The first one, this first story about money, the first time I remember even manifesting anything, I was on a phone call with my cousin in Hawaii, and I was like, I think something crazy is happening to me. I think there's magic happening. And I was literally terrified, but also excited, because a chunk of money had just come my way. Out of nowhere, someone had called me and was looking for a photographer, a videographer. And at the time, I didn't really have that much experience, but I was like the only person that this person knew. And so I got this gig. I think it was like $500. At the time, it was so much money to me, and I was so grateful for it. And it literally felt like it came out of nowhere. And so I started to kind of go down this rabbit hole of like, what's going on? How can I continue to do this? And I absolutely love when money aligns and manifests. So if you've ever manifested money or opportunity, let me know in the comments below. What did it feel like for you? More recently, I was riding my bike on Venice Boulevard, and a $5 bill just floated right in front of my bike, and I stopped and I picked up the $5 bill. And I was like, yeah, $5. I biked maybe 50 feet more, and there was a group of homeless people just hanging out, and I instantly knew that I wanted to give it to one of them. And so I just stopped, handed one of them a $5 bill, said, bless you, brother, and just kept on my way. And it felt so good. I, at the time, actually really needed that money. I'm constantly investing in my business, so my bank account is constantly circulating. But I also knew that I didn't need that money because I knew that there was so much more money coming through. And that really is another part of this mindset of manifestation, is trusting and knowing that all of your needs are met as you speak. So the next day, I open up my bank account and there is $1,000 in my bank account. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And it was from online courses that I had sold that I had not planned to be receiving. And it just blew my mind. And it really reminded me that money is always circulating, and you really truly only get to keep what you give away. So the speed at which I had given away that $5 that came my way, that speed came right back to me, like 20-fold or whatever, how many more dollars that was. But it really just blew my mind, and it really kept me in this place of deep gratitude and humility of like, wow, the money that comes my way is not mine. I am a vessel to circulate this, and I get to put it in places that I value. And how beautiful is that? The second story that just so juicy with travel, I've shared a number of my travel manifestation stories on this channel, and I'll include some of those videos below. I've traveled to festivals out of nowhere. I've manifested plane tickets to Hawaii, just so many travel opportunities. And one of my favorites is when I wanted to go to this festival called Lightning in a Bottle. It was already sold out. The event was sold out. It was like 4 days before the event. I kind of was just like, oh, it'd be really cool if I could go, but I didn't have any plans to. I got a call from one of my girlfriends who I dance with, and she was like, hey, you know, we're looking for a videographer and we have an extra ticket. We'd like for you to come. If you can like get your stuff together and just like come with us, we'd really appreciate it. We can get you in and you would have a place to camp and all these things. And I was like, yes, let's do this. I was so excited because the ticket is around $300 or $400. But not only was I gonna be going, but I would be going with my friends, and they are artists, so they're performers, and we'd be camping in the artist section, which is like VIP at these festivals. I was super stoked. Once I got there, it gets even better and better, right? The more you celebrate and you share these stories, the more the universe is like, yes, let's give more. Let's send more her way, because she is willing and open to receive. So I get there, and mind you, this is a time in my life where I didn't have much money. I couldn't afford to go to this festival, let alone when I got there, I was really nervous about buying food, because I was like, I don't have food, or I don't have money for food. So I brought my snacks. And I was also nervous about the whole camera gear thing, because I didn't have all the camera gear that I felt really confident in helping my friends out. I really wanted to get a few things, and I had put them in my Amazon cart, but I didn't really have the money for it at the time. So I got to the festival. The minute I get there, we throw up our tents and I start walking towards the stage to help them out. And I look down, and there is a $50 bill, a single $50 bill in front of me, on my, like in front of my feet. No one's around. So I pick it up and I'm like, oh my God, I got $50. I ask around, is this yours? And it was mine. It was given to me through source, through spirit. And what I did right away, I bought someone a meal. I bought my friend Scotty a meal because he had helped drive me there, and I was just so grateful. So gratitude is really huge when it comes to that. So I kept walking along the path, and I finally got to the stage and went backstage because that's where they were. And crazy enough, this monopod, which is like a tripod, but it's one stick, was sitting on a table right next to where they were. Nothing around it, just a monopod. The same monopod that was in my Amazon cart at home that I didn't have money to buy. I pick it up and I'm like, whose monopod is this? And one of the tech guys is like, oh, that was a dude who came here to take some photos. He left it. You could probably have it if you want. I started to feel like, maybe I shouldn't take this. Maybe I'll leave it. I left it there for a while. Guy never came back. So I took the monopod and I took it as a gift from source, from God. And you know, every single time I receive, I give back in a way that that feels good, that continues that law of circulation, which, like I mentioned, you only get to keep what you give away. So when you give and you don't expect back, that's when more can even come. So that's my amazing travel story. The third, one of my most favorited manifestation stories of all time, is how I manifested one of my dearest friends. She's actually my best friend, who I've been calling into my life my whole life. There was a time about 3 years ago where I had no girlfriends. I was the kind of girl who grew up with a lot of guy friends. My parents never really let me hang out with people, so I didn't really have girlfriends. And 3 years ago, I was like really craving some girl friendships, someone who I could like talk to about what I was going through. I was really specific. I wanted someone who was on the path of building their business like I was, someone who was interested and obsessed with personal growth, someone who was a content creator. I wanted someone who I could like shoot photos with and talk about spirituality and do all this woo shit with crystals and go to sound baths and study meditation together and just nerd out on all the stuff that I absolutely loved. And to be very honest, at that time, it felt far away. I was actually really scared to be friends with women. And I met my best friend Dreamy through this martial art I do, capoeira. And the funny thing is, we'd actually known about each other for quite some time because we were in the same community, but we had never met. We knew, like, I knew about her. She was someone who I actually really looked up to. She's a Ashtanga yogi. I knew she was also an Instagrammer, but I never really sought it out. We ended up meeting each other randomly. Again, nothing's random. We ended up meeting each other at a dinner that our friends had set up, and we're like, wow, I've heard about you. And she's like, I've heard about you too. And then instantly we became friends and soul sisters. And over the course of our relationship, even more beautiful things started to unfold. You know, the minute I started talking to her, I was like, you know, where are you from? I thought she was Latina at the time. And turns out she's Filipino, I'm Filipino American. And I was like, where are you from in the Philippines? She happens to be from the same town that my cousins are from in the Philippines. And she grew up with my cousins in the Philippines. So if that is not manifestation and synchronicity for you, I do not know what else to tell you, because that was such a miracle to not only align a soul sister, but someone who grew up with my cousins thousands of miles away. And today she feels like home for me. Today, anytime I am broken down, she's got my back. If you want to drop in deep with this woman who has changed my life and who I've manifested, head on over to her YouTube channel, because she's a wealth of information when it comes to yoga, holistic living, worthiness. She's a self-worth coach, and you want to check out her YouTube channel. Also find her on Instagram. She is a very inspirational Instagrammer at Drini Aguilar. So all the information's below. Check her out, and you know, it just continues to just open up my heart to what is possible when it comes to asking the universe for what it is that you truly desire. By hearing other people's manifestation stories, by hearing your manifestation stories, I am truly deeply inspired. I love hearing about them, and I know the power of speaking them and sending out these vibrations to the universe, and to declare in deep gratitude the blessings that are in your life right now. There is no coincidence that you are experiencing what it is that you're experiencing right now in your material and spiritual reality. Everything that you're experiencing right now is a manifestation of your being, of your desires, and of your actions. I just want to leave you with those 3 stories and the fact that you are a powerful being. I want to leave you with a story that I heard on one of my favorite YouTubers accounts. His name's Victor Odo. He spoke about how Tony Robbins told this story about a lion cub being misplaced and actually finding his way into a sheep's flock. And he grew up with these sheep. And you know, he started to really act like these sheep. And one day he found himself back in the wild somewhere. And these lions saw him, and the lions were like, "What are you doing? You're not a sheep." And one of the lions picked him up and brought him to water to see his reflection. And he saw, "Oh my God, I'm a lion. I'm not a sheep. I've been acting like a sheep all these years." And this is super powerful because a lot of times we're operating in this conditioning that is limited, that is sheepish, when every single one of us here are powerful beings with the potential to create and manifest anything that your heart desires. You are a lion. You are a powerful leader, regardless of what anyone has told you in the past or what you have experienced. This is you. I see you. And I'm so excited for your journey because you're here watching all this, and that is sparking so much in your life. Thank you again so much for your sacred time. I'm so grateful for you, excited for you. And if you like this and you want even more of this magic in your life, please make sure to hit that subscribe button below so that you can be in this tribe. I post videos every single week, and I love hearing from you, and I love commenting and connecting. So share this with your friends. And if you want even more, head on over to my website, lifebyjazz.com. There's tons of free resources and ways to work with me as a coach, join my masterminds, and get hooked up in my online courses. So much love to you, sister, goddess, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste, Ashe, that means good vibes, good energy, and peace and richest blessings to you.